fast this weekend too, especially in practice. What a race we got going, man! Just like superstars everywhere, just showing out here at the Carl Customs Bristol Dirt National.
Very much, and we've got a good battle shaping up here for third, right in front of them as we pick up this group off of turn number 4. That's Peyton Taylor there in the Stroker Ace Slim Chickens number 7 machine. He is coming under fire from last night's featured winner, Damon Murdy. Murdy down the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Dwayne, we're going to have one to go this time by the stripe. We watch this battle come off of turn number 4.
Oh!
And the 11 machine of Jason Park looks like he was slowing, Dwayne, and Peyton Taylor with nowhere to go, trying to get underneath him. Contact was made.
What? What do you mean?
And I believe that is going to give us a yellow checker. We had waved the white flag. The caution will come out after the white. You can see the fluid under the radiator there on the number 11 machine of Jason Park.
I'm thinking you mean like park this thing sideways on the freaking interstate, throw the keys in the ditch and walk away.
Again, was slow. Park trying to get
you
down
need to know your audience here.
I believe.
I hurl myself through the air for fun on a motorcycle.
Taylor coming in nowhere to go. You make those decisions in a split second, Dwayne. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Meanwhile, this one's over. So congratulations to Dallin Murdy. Finally putting it out in front. He was close last night in the heat race.
You know what's funny? I've had a couple
several
people tell me they're
positions,
like
leading the feature last night. Something going wrong under the hood, and Dallin unfortunately had to give it up early. He's doing what he needs to do right now, Dwayne, by putting this thing out in front of SRI Stock Car Heat Race number 1. It will be a yellow checkered finish again from the white flag waving caution came out after light.
I've driven a Campbell across the
Absolutely.
Yeah,
man, get it done. Definitely watch Old Daddy get in there and come home in the second spot here tonight. And
I've never driven one.
Great run for all those guys, man. We're going to get ready to go into our third heat race here in stock cars, the SRI Stock Cars Heat Race number 2.
Because they're rare. You don't see them very often.
Big shout out to Jim Meyer, Captain Stubby, watching at home from what he calls cold Iowa.
And what was the model that had the 3 win?
There is the Henry Repeating Arms instant replay of that incident over in turns 3 and 4. We'll see it one more time. You can see. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't a slow moment there for Jason Park. It looks like Peyton Taylor just sticking her in there on the bottom, trying to commit to it. Park trying to come down and just contact made right there, Dwayne. That looks like a racing deal to me.
And I made sure everywhere I worked before I bought my own truck had Peterbilt.
He had a full head of steam for the young.
I mean, shoot, back in 07, I bought a brand new
for him. Hopefully he'll be able to rebound tonight
70-inch bunk
and try to come back out for the feature.
Nice truck, don't get me wrong, I love that truck.
Put on the show for the fans, and that was finally heat race number 2 for the SRI stock cars.
They're designed
are rolling out.
Heat race number 2, making its way to the speedway here, Dwayne, like you said, on the pole, the 52 of Nathan Wood from Sigourney, Iowa, will be on the inside. His outside from Batavia, Iowa, the 43 will be Kevin Kuntz. Row number 2, the 1 of Dan Chonsky from Minneapolis, Wisconsin. And outside of him from Wauwega, Wisconsin, that'll be the 76Y of Caden Young. Indianola, Iowa racer Steve Byer, going to be on the inside of row 3 in the B17. Alongside the 8B of Brandon Blake from Odessa, Texas. Row 4, the 15 is Zachary Paul from Kokomo, Indiana, and Johnny Spall. Last night's another one of our
it's no different than like a
Cascade. You'll be out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa in the double zero. We're also going to be looking for the 27 of Matt Pickray from West Liberty, Iowa. Looks like all 9 cars have made the call for SRI Stock Car Heat Race number 2.
Bunk beds in it, flat floor.
10 laps around once again here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to set them loose off of turn number 4. The lights are going out.
There's this much room between the...
Definitely going to need to keep
That's like, it's just an air filter under air cleaners underneath there. Move that out of the way.
There's a lot of
whole floor. Maybe not completely flat, but it's just a little
It's actually kind of a shame because they only made
class.
Yes, there are.
He didn't win last night for no reason.
A lot of experience behind the wheel of the double zero as we come to green.
Good idea, it was a little too late.
So
already they off to a breakneck pace. They're too good. Jeez, they're going to be stacking 3 wide over there. Turn number 2. The whole field runs down the back.
Yeah, he had a curb sniffer before it. But I like the way blue is my favorite color.
He is showing no signs
I hate
of
red,
slowing down.
and every truck I've ever owned
Spall
is some
sets
shade
his
of
sights
red.
on the front.
Ironically,
it's a rust.
It as close. Yeah. To redo that truck. So that truck's been in storage for 4.5 years up until December. And I had a 99 cab over Peterbilt that I had that was super nice. I was actually invited down to the Peterbilt plant for their open house this past October. Local kid.
All right, we're going to get that fixed.
Sell it, but he gave me
money.
He gave me the price that was worth selling it.
Yeah.
And he totaled it 3 weeks later.
Oh man.
But that was red and maroon and gold.
Yeah.
And then there's this one, and then my 379 was maroon.
So why don't you paint them? Paint them
right,
blue.
Well, so when I sold my 99 back in December, the whole thing was I stretched that truck. That truck has Freightliner rear suspension on it. That truck actually rides really good for what it is. But I wanted to put new frame rails in it, and I wanted to paint it and just completely redo the truck, right? That one I call my OG for the original Gangster because I bought that truck when I was 21.
Okay.
That's my first truck I ever bought. And I wanted to paint it blue, right? And next thing I know, I'm on my way to California to start this convoy, and I didn't accomplish that yet.
Yeah.
And now I almost feel like I can't paint the stupid thing because
everybody knows you. Yeah, everybody knows you.
In fact, I might just go home and park that back inside and rebuild the motor in the International that I have and drive that one.
Right. I told people I plan on when I get done with this, tomorrow or a month from now, whenever it is, I'm going to go home and I'm going to put this thing up for sale.
Yeah.
Because the market is just stupid high right now.
Oh yeah.
So I just ask some crazy stupid number, and if somebody will buy it, great. I'll put the money in, and I'll go fishing for a year. Wait for the price to come back down, and to me, a truck is. I don't have any emotions to vehicles. I've never named them. Oh, this is the Blue Mule. Whatever.
Right.
I
never did either, other than that one.
Right. To me, it's just a machine. And I just use them. For my purposes. But one of the other reasons is I want to go back incognito after this is over. And I'm driving down the road with this thing with Saznak all over the side and everything. And
part of the reason why I said I might just go home and park that thing back in the garage.
Yeah. But the thing is, even after this is over, 6 months from now, I got people throwing eggs at me or something, and I don't want that. I just want to go back to the way I was before.
It's definitely whatever. So like. The funny thing is all my friends that I've had from home know this truck that's here. Obviously, they know my other one, but they all knew me before that truck. Well, not long after I bought that other truck was when I got into the trucking stuff when we did the protest in October of 17 and everything for the ELDs. And so since I've been in that stuff, everybody that's known me through the trucking stuff or stuff like this knows that truck. So when I showed up with this thing, they're like,
"Oh, okay, all right.
Did you get another truck?" And I'm like, "No, this is actually a truck I've had for a long time.
This is the original."
And they're like, "We can't believe you sold that other truck." I said, "I didn't have an attachment to that truck. This truck, it's just."
And like you said, I
don't care what you offer it for me.
I've got a friend of mine that had a truck. It was an 84 Kenworth short hood, the B model hood, and it was after the A models.
Yep.
It was a B model short hood, and they didn't make the extended hood there for
they didn't have an L model yet.
7-8 years, something like that. But anyway, it was an 84, and he had that. It was silver, and he had a 400 Big Cam 3, I think, in it, and he had done all the. I think it was Pittsburgh Power, and had it turned up to about 700 horsepower, and all kinds of. I mean, that thing would haul. I mean, he had it turned up pretty good, and he was a good enough driver to keep the temperature down, stuff like that. Because some drivers go down there and just put the foot in and burn it up the first week.
Especially when you have a hot rod that comes. That's how I know.
Back when. I think it was back in 08 when the fuel went through the roof and everything. He decided to go ahead and upgrade to a more modern truck. He'd had it for a long time and decided, I better buy a new truck. So he went and bought a W900L, a couple years old, and he put his old truck up for sale. And the guy that bought it, he's like, he was in a bad mood that day because he sold it that afternoon, and we went to dinner that night. And he was just a cranky old fart, because he just sold his. He looked at that truck. I mean, it was his first truck and only truck he'd ever had. He bought that new 84 and went with it, and but it wasn't maybe 2 months later You won't believe what that was. I mean, he was wrecked my truck. You know? I'm like, what? He rolled the damn thing over. I'm like, oh man, are you kidding? Oh, he was madder. He was madder that the guy wrecked it. You know, even though he got decent money out of the truck, you know. And I mean, what it was worth. He didn't get jabbed or anything because he's one of those guys. He would have just held on to it. He wouldn't have sold it for a bad price. And but he was mad. Son wrecked the damn truck. Oh, you know.
It's funny because like I say I didn't have any attachment to that truck, but I made a lot of memories with that truck through all this type of work.
How old did you say your boys were?
9 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah, that truck was after that. But
making memories.
Yeah. So the day that I sold it, I was like, I don't know, because it was nice, and I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. So the day that it got wrecked, right? Yeah. I had a fella that used to work for me. He was leased to me, and he's wanted a cab over, right? And I found him an old Walmart truck, flat floor, single bunt, right? He bought it out of Canada, and it had to be brought into Michigan.
Right front.
Anyway,
that is the corner that gets the most stress on the race car.
And it was over Christmas. Happens to be my sister-in-law's dad. Okay, my brother married this guy's daughter. So I told him, I said, hey, my brother's going to drive him in his pickup truck.
Quick on the loud pedal, and he's going to get a great restart and going to really make this field work harder to try to run it down here in this start.
I'll just get a load.
Caught him sleeping there in the 93 machine as we go 3 wide once again through turns 1 and 2. Pat Rachel's in that black and white 34. He's got a really fast race car here.
I found a load.
After a frequent flyer at the Carolina Speedway.
I told him
I'd have been out of the China Grove Speedway. You'll see him over there at Gastonia, North Carolina, quite a bit. But they continue to widen this track out. It's getting wider. It's getting racier, which is going to make the race action that much better throughout the time that the whole track is now under the shade.
We're getting on a turnpike to go low.
Man, this thing is going to be nice and consistent all night long. Good group of 4 race cars. They go 2 by 2, 2 rows deep down the front straightaway. That is Jalen Wetzel of the 91J. He started outside of row number 1. Right now, the quickest car on the speedway is TJ Herndon in 3rd spot, the number 1 machine from Atwood, Tennessee. As we watch this great battle right here for 4th spot between Leslie Gill and Jalen Wetzel.
That's where they're really getting at it between those two gentlemen as they race off into turns 1 and 2. Wetzel trying to make that outside work right there against Leslie Gill, but man, oh man,
if it was, he's like, it's done for. The whole left, he hit the barrier wall, and the whole left side's gone.
A little bit, but they're still side by side. He is digging hard down to the bottom, but try to make the pass at the line. And he does just for the moment of Chris Murray. Is that Vermont driver starting to make his way up through the drug field?
Yeah, you don't hear about a lot of stock car racing going on in Vermont, but it looks like there's at least one good driver up there right now. Chris Murray got a good run going here at the Bristol Motor Speedway in SRI stock car heat race number 3. Trying to get around Leslie Gill. We got a good battle right behind them for the 5th spot, which are 6th spot, between Jalen Wetzel and Ben Glasscock. You got a battle for 4th and a battle for 6th right there on screen.
We're going
to be coming this time with 3 laps to go.
The other side, me and him both at the same time go
around Chris Murray again to the bottom.
Here it comes on a tow truck going the other way, and I'm like
to the 4th spot,
and then I'm like,
get there. So it looks like Leslie Gill's going to continue to keep him in. Side off turn number 2. Go to wheel, hub into turns 3 and 4 they go. Finally overtake Leslie Gill. Gill's going to try to set him up for a crossover.
I was like, I called you because I seen you get no. So it was, but it was. Avert your eyes. Yeah, it was. You know, what do you do? But I look at it as, right, I always say everything happens for a reason. Okay, so story behind how I have my necklace here.
Frequent flyer at the Tennessee National Raceway in Camden Speedway in Middle Tennessee. He has worked his way around one of the best in the Carolinas. Pat Rachel's going to try to wind him up. He's going to go down to the bottom. Can the young man out of Middle Tennessee hang on as they come out of 4? He gets it done. TJ Herndon wins this one. Second
we're
going
down
to
in
Pat
DC
Rachel.
with our trucks,
Third to Chris Murray.
She
A
shows
big
up in
run
a
for the
little
man
Ford
out of
station wagon
Fairhaven.
with a CB whip hanging off
Vermont.
the top of it,
Fourth
and her
going
windows
to
all
Leslie
wrote up
Gill.
about
Fifth
supporting
to Ben
truckers and no
Glasgow. Sixth to
ELD,
Jaden
blah, blah, blah.
Weddingle. I'm going to get your name, brother.
So her and her
Marco
husband used to
Gilbert,
truck
the
together.
Canadian, come home in seventh.
Okay.
Michael Jeanette,
And she
eighth.
just
Ninth to
loved,
Jody
like,
Coates.
she loves truckers, loves the trucking lifestyle. Like, that's who she is. And she had one of those, I don't care attitudes. I don't care what you think. This is right and this is wrong. And, you know, anyway, she shows up and we're like, who is this? Like a little late. She's sleeping in her car.
We're going to move on to the fourth and final SRI stock car heat race.
I got to know her.
On the
I started a trucking organization with Brian and them guys. And
in the 51,
she just loved us to death, right?
From Republic, Missouri,
And
Pearl Woods in that beautiful red and white number 26.
She would always come out to any events that we had and stuff like that, supported us and
alongside Greg Osmond from Eureka,
So
Illinois.
she ended up getting cancer.
Row 3 to 46 is
Back
Colton
in,
Arns from Laverne, Minnesota. To his outside is Andrea McCain from 25A from South Haven, Minnesota.
2020,
Row
I guess.
4, we've got Jason Rogers from
We
Southern
put
Kansas
on a little
and
truck
Robert
show out in
Watcher
Ohio
from
for her. She was from
Wisconsin.
Ohio, so we
Dustin
found
Viss
a
from
place
Martell,
that
Iowa, taking the
let us
green
have
flag
trucks
as
there.
well. We are
This truck show
underway.
on for her.
So the field
It's
really
kinda like her
hammers
last
away as the
hurrah,
Thunder
right?
Herd gets to
And,
going down into the turns
So
and down the backstretch they
that was in
roll.
August. And last time I
Oh,
booked
they're
her,
trying to get single file early,
we
but
were
that's
at,
not going to last long as
I
they
was
run
at
off into turn 3 and
racetrack
4,
in
3
Florida
wide they go.
over
You got
Thanksgiving.
another man trying to
Kids
enter
were
into the
racing. I
arena.
happened
He's
to
going
be
to get
down
up
there
on him
at
and push
this
up
really
on
big
him.
race called
Coming
the
across
Dominion.
the strike right there.
It's like a week
Dustin
and a half
Viss,
long
Jason
race.
Rogers,
It's
Colton
like
Arindo,
amateur
who are all getting at each
racing
other.
for kids.
Running off into 1 and 2 there.
I wanted to take my kids to be there in the truck, so I stopped by to check it out. It was the last place I'd ever talked to her on the phone, and the last thing she told me was, no matter what, remember them boys always come first. And I'm like, I know. And Ohio that winter. And it was right after that. Actually, while I was there, my buddy called me. He's like, hey, you busy? Can you help me haul some stuff from, Northwest Ohio to Laredo for the next couple? And I'm like, money was good, so I was like, all right. And hauled one down there, and I was down in Laredo, and I got the phone call that she had passed away. Well, her dying wish was that I haul her to her grave in my truck. So I loaded back up to Michigan, where my buddy was from, got a load going back home to PA, and swung down for her funeral. And I ain't never worn anything, but
What time is it?
6:49.
They said they moved the meeting to 7 o'clock. Hope you guys don't miss it.
So
Okay.
anyway, I never wear anything but jeans and a black t-shirt or a flannel shirt, right? That's just how I dress. Don't matter where I go. Next thing I know, the girls all go and get me a freaking suit to wear, right? So now I'm wearing this suit, and I had to go pick her urn up at the funeral home and take it to the gravesite. Now the thing is I never even met all her family up until that day.
Right.
Most of them, but not all of them. 10 trucks at her thing, people that knew her. She was a pretty powerful presence for our little trucking community. But so they're already there at the cemetery, and here I come wheeling on in. And I had to get out and I carried her to the grave. Right, that's what she wanted. That was her wish. And I felt really weird because there's her family, and I'm just this guy that
I've been in a situation like that. Not exactly like that.
Yeah.
Why am I?
And I'm
here?
thinking, why am I the guy that's doing this? But they were they knew that that's what she wanted, and you better not mess with what Miss Arlene wanted.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that, and then her daughter was like, there was a couple people that she was pretty close with. I was one of them. So her daughter gave us each something to try and remember us by, or remember her by, right? All of us, what she gave us broke the same day. And her daughter's laughing because her daughter's like, that's Mom. Apparently I didn't give you the right thing.
Repeat that again. I missed
So she gave us little trinkets, kind of, right?
They all broke on the same day?
Right. They all broke.
Really?
She gave them to us while we were there, and something stupid happened to all three of them that she gave, the three of us that were close with Arlene. And she's like, I was upset, and she's like, nope. She goes, that's Mom. She goes, that's not what I was supposed to give you, apparently.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Knowing how Miss Arlene was, right?
Yeah.
So she goes, don't worry, I'll come up with something. So I went home for Christmas, and I went back to home that stuff to the border. She called me. She goes, when you get home, she said, there'll be something in the mail for you. I'm like, okay. I came home, and this was in the mail for me, right? This was her, like, Miss Arlene wore this. This was her necklace.
Okay.
And I was like, are you sure? She goes, nope, that's what you were supposed to have. So I said, well, I'll never take it off. So I raced with it on and everything. So we're down in Florida. Before we left for Florida, this kid told me he wanted to buy my truck because I took my kids to that very race where I was at the last time I talked to Arlene. So this kid agrees to buy my truck. I said, well, we're going to Florida for this race. Like, you can't have it until I come back because I got to take my PTO and everything off of it, right? He's like, that's fine, that's fine. So we go down to Florida and we're at the racetrack. And I went down with my boy Chase for his one moto. And we're standing there on the gate, and I'm like, that feels weird. Necklace came unhooked, and it caught my shirt, and just the chain was hanging. This was gone.
Oh.
And like, my kid's on the gate, and I'm like, I huge, like, we had to ride the pit bikes like a mile from where we were pitted at to get to the gate. So I'm like, where did this thing come off at? You know what I mean?
It might be at your feet. It might be 100 yards.
Yeah, it could be who knows where. And I'm like, I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, and I'm like nonchalantly trying to, like, you know, feel around it, like fall down my pants and is in my boot or something like that, you know? And so, like, I thought to myself, well, I guess it's fitting that I lost it here because this was the last place I talked to her. And I told her that I wanted to bring the boys here next year. Now here we are, right? And I turned around and looked, and there it was laying on the ground behind me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that was not funny. So then we go home, and I sell this kid this truck, right?
And why did you feel that necklace?
Right,
She
exactly.
might have just been tugging
Exactly.
out, yeah, like, you know, okay.
So I go home, and that's how she was. She was just, she was a piece of work. But I go home, sell the truck. This kid wrecks it, and someone was like, "I think maybe he wasn't supposed to have that truck." And I was like, I felt bad for the kid. He's a good kid, but I was like, well, maybe so.
It was fate. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Divine intervention.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, because I don't believe anything just happens by happenstance. You know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. So I was like, it's a good possibility.
I'm gonna look real quick.
Is that really
I
what
don't
they
really
said?
see anything, but
Nobody.
It's raining pretty decent out here. I mean, so.
Yeah, nobody. Nobody sent me anything.
Okay. Well, it was just somebody said, hey, they moved it from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and I didn't even know they were going to have an 8 o'clock because it's
raining.
Today. It's raining. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Here, look out the door here.
I actually want to.
It's not pouring, but it is.
It's still raining though.
Stand out there.
Or a curtain van to use as our stage, so the PA guys can put their system in it, and we can close the curtain and it don't get wet.
Right.
But that costs money too, unless I find one to use.
Of course, this isn't your category or whatever. But like the chef came into me yesterday morning and asked, hey, could I put out a shout out for a mobile kitchen? And I did. I got a whole bunch of emails, and I don't know.
Apparently, we have one coming, I think.
But okay, well, I haven't caught up. I haven't followed up on any of that. I passed it on to them, and somebody said they have one coming from Michigan. But the way I read it on the email was that it was just a reefer trailer, not a, I don't know, storage trailer.
I don't know. I'm actually going.
Anyway, are you involved with any of that kind of stuff?
Yes. No. I am to an extent. Because actually they came to me today, and because the race is opening this weekend, we have to get all our stuff out of their refrigerator and everything. They're like, we need more reefer trailers. So I called my buddy. They're like, we need eggs we need more. And I'm like, okay. So actually, I have a buddy that has reefers, and he hauls for an egg farm.
Oh, wow. See?
So I called him, and I'm
up.
like, you got an extra trailer I can borrow? And he's like, well, I had one of our friends using it who just left today to go out of the country to get treatment for cancer. He's like, so he's not going to be using it for the next few weeks. And he called the egg place, and he's like, how many do you need? And I said, I told him I need like 350 dozen. So they're donating 350 dozen eggs and the trailer. So I'm actually...
So it all works out.
Yeah, and I'm going to get it.
Another divine intervention.
I'm going to get it tomorrow because I haven't seen my kids since the first week of February because of doing this stuff.
Right.
And they were racing in Florida, then they went to Texas for 2 big races. Well, when I flew out Sunday to go home, to go to California, they got home. So and they're only 2 hours from here. So I'm actually going to take off when we're done here and go home to see them tonight.
Oh, okay.
And tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to go get my buddy's trailer, load them eggs, and bring them back down,
Okay, there you go.
down here.
So you taking the cab over then and leaving your flatbed, or you taking your step deck?
No, I'm going to leave my
Bring it
trailer here and pop.
So anyway, and one of the other things, right? Oh my God, all the money's gone. Rumors.
Oh, yeah.
All the money's gone, and just all this misinformation and stuff. But when you look on your website, thepeoplesconvoy.org, and you look on the website, and it shows a dollar amount. I remember the first time I looked at it, it said like 1.4 million, and then off the side it says 5 million. What is that?
That's the goal.
Okay.
That was the goal. And the thing is with that number, it goes up as people donate, but it doesn't show what we've used out of it.
Right.
So we don't have I think it's at 1.7 now or something like that.
Well, last time I looked,
we don't have that, but we still have plenty of money to keep going.
Right.
But fuel's not cheap. I mean, shoot, we had a $50,000 fuel bill at ACT the other day after we fueled everybody up.
We left Ohio that morning. That's the first time you got to Homer or someplace we stopped.
Oh, at Dottie's.
Dottie's. I didn't get fuel there, but I got fuel when we got over to Ohio. And anyway, went over to. I got fuel at Dottie's. Take it back.
Did
I
you?
did. Yeah, I got fuel at Dottie's, then in Ohio too. And I remember somebody said that the fuel bill at Ohio was like $64,000.
Yeah.
Damn! I was thinking 13,000. I just of course I'm not thinking about.
Well, and a lot of us with
prices
trucks
of fuel's
didn't
got.
get it like here. Full, yeah.
What is the status of next camp?
There's a couple places we're looking at. I don't want to put them out
Right.
by name only because
Right.
the track here gets multiple calls a day from people that don't like what we're doing.
Right.
And they know we're here, so but we're at a dirt track, and dirt track people don't really care what other people think, so
Okay.
don't bother them. But yeah, because they're official racing, they actually have a really big race put on by Lucas here, I think next weekend or the weekend after, so we have to find somewhere to
So here in a couple of days, Saturday, they've got a regular race.
Yeah,
It's
regular
not the big
race. It's not the big one that's put on by Lucas. It's just one of their regular, and they said we'd be okay here in what we call the back 40.
So I moved over here tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all the tractor trailers have to move back here too.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. What about like the tents and the stuff, like the information tent? They moved it
Yeah, that's going to be moved back here
again.
and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
They moved it once yet, or the last night or this morning.
Yeah. So we're looking for places probably in Virginia, maybe a little closer to the Beltway, but and we found a few. It's just okay. It's either this place is good location wise, but it's not quite big enough, or this place is big enough, but the roads to get up to the Beltway are really not that great.
95, yeah.
So we're working on it. There's a couple places that we might be able to make work. That's probably going to require us to take a drive. A couple of us take a drive down there and really put eyes on it and make sure, make sure ground's stable enough for the trucks and stuff like that. I mean, even out here where they park race haulers all the time, we've had trucks sink into the mud because it's
Front
soft.
tires
So.
especially, yeah. And then the bobtail doesn't have any weight on the back, so they can get space.
Yeah.
Any traction.
Yeah. We'll end up moving. I mean, hey, maybe everything will work out and we'll be done with have to move out of here,
Yeah.
but
It'd be cool. But,
I'd be good with that so I can go back to work. But
yeah.
but whatever it takes.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to? You need to get home then, apparently. So I didn't know you were.
Yeah, no, well, dude, I've been telling you for a week I'd do that, and I wanted to do this. This is the type of stuff that I like to do. This.
So 4141 on the viewers right now. 4,300 thumbs up. So hey, they finally come around.
Too bad it's
So,
not 5150.
yeah, there you go. 6160, 6260, 78 going. But no, that's what's actually watching right now. Is 4144 is actually watching right now.
Yeah.
If I get on the computer after I click
You'll be
this
able to
off, I
see
got
how many people actually.
27,000, 50,000.
Yeah.
I mean, because of this, well, you know who you are. I would imagine this is going to go.
Who I am?
You know?
Come on, you're a Saznik. I'm not anybody. It's funny how many people think that's actually your name.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when they find out, they're like, "Oh, now that's clever." You know? And the story behind, the story behind that.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night we were in a van out in
Yeah.
Arizona talking for a while.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I guess we'll cut this down or shut this off and everything. But supper time. I want to shut it off so I can get something to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. I guess it is 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So, I
flies
can't
when
tell
you're
them
having
while
fun.
I'm on the stream here. I can't see the time or the battery or any of that stuff.
Yeah, time
So,
flies when you're having fun, they
Yeah,
say.
we're 139 minutes, so a little over 2 hours, 2.25, something like that. So, all right, well, very good, and thanks for coming over. I'm happy to do this with stuff. Everybody offering this up. Well, Grey Wolf came over, and he wanted, and he was really good at articulating what's going on. He's good at that stuff. And then Brian, he's more than welcome to come over. I'm not asking him. If he wants to come over and use the platform, he's more than welcome to. And Marcus, if he wants to come, any of them.
Oh, yeah.
But whoever.
They all got interesting stories.
Put the word out, and I'll be more than happy to some evening, whatever, sit around. And it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow too, isn't it? So, I don't know. As I said, a
I
couple
can
days of
hope
rain.
not, but I think so.
As much as I hate sitting in traffic, I actually enjoy going down around that Beltway. I just actually, it's kind of fun,
That's what someone asked me the one day. I was on it live, and they're like, "Oh, that must be bad." I'm like, you know what? Normally I would hate this, but I got nowhere to be today, so.
Yeah, normally I'm going through traffic, and I've got an appointment to make. I got to be with this warehouse at 2 in the afternoon. I got to hurry up and get there. I'm running late, Now, damn it, traffic. Oh, car crash. Oh, it's all,
Yep.
And now it's like, I'm sitting in traffic. I'm the old fart in the traffic, sitting there with the motorhome going, all these fools got to be somewhere.
Owensboro, Kentucky's DW Darrell Waltrip owns the most wins right here at Bristol with 12.
Originally designed for the U.S. Air Force, the Henry U.S. Survival AR-7 is now available to.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
gonna
liking
rain
this
tomorrow.
trip. This is the rain. They're having a meeting in the tent. I mean, somebody else's
there's a
watching.
big tent.
Oh, shit, we're
everybody.
gone. See you later. Bye. Love you, people.